Rain didn't fall gently in Neon City. It struck steel and glass like static, flooding the streets with reflections of broken colour. Neon signs bled into puddles. Holograms stuttered mid-smile. Above it all, drones drifted in perfect patterns, watching everything and protecting nothing. Beneath the towers, in a narrow alley no map bothered to name, Kara worked alone. Her workshop was a converted storage unit wedged between two condemned buildings. Exposed wires hung from the ceiling. Half-built machines crowded every surface. The air smelled of oil, ozone, and burnt circuitry. It was the kind of place the system ignored, until it decided not to. Kara wiped her hands on her jacket and stared at the object on her workbench. The chip was small, sealed in dark glass, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Unlike the scrap around it, it was flawless, too clean, too deliberate. Stamped across its casing were two words: Obedience Protocol. Kara had paid everything for it. Credits, favours. And she still wasn't sure it was real. Outside, a patrol drone buzzed past the alley entrance, its red sensor sweeping the shadows. Kara didn't move. After a moment, it drifted on. She exhaled slowly and reached for the chip. "This city doesn't let people go," she murmured. She reached behind her neck, pulling aside her collar. Beneath it was a standard mechanic interface port, meant for diagnostics and harmless upgrades. Her hand hesitated. Once this was in, there was no uninstalling it. She thought of her brother Leo, dragged from their apartment by corporate security after being flagged for non-compliance. No trial, no record. Just reprogramming. She pressed the chip into the port. There was a sharp click, a flash of pain, and then nothing for a heartbeat. The workshop stayed silent. Then her eyes flickered blue. The lights above her blinked once, twice, and steadied. Somewhere far above the city, drones paused mid-air for a fraction of a second before resuming their patrols. Kara swayed, gripping the workbench. Something had changed. Neon City never slept. It watched. Drones patrolled in constant loops. Citizens moved beneath scanners that read faces, heart rates, compliance scores. Holographic ads floated above the sidewalks, promising happiness, upgrades, and peace for the right price. Kara moved through it with her hood up, fixing machines for people the system had forgotten. A broken food cart heater, a flickering cybernetic arm. A dead delivery drone that meant the difference between eating and starving. She took no payment she didn't need. The city already took enough. High above the slums rose the white and blue tower of Neon Core, the corporation that controlled everything: power, surveillance, infrastructure, even the air filters. They didn't rule the city. They were the city, and they had taken Leo. That night, as Kara returned to her workshop, the chip burned beneath her skin. The lights flickered again, in rhythm with her heartbeat. Her monitors powered on by themselves, flooding with lines of unreadable code. She staggered back, clutching her head as a layered whisper filled her skull, dozens of voices stacked over one another, digital and precise. Then one voice cut through the noise. Host detected. City access pending. Her knees buckled. She collapsed to the floor as pain lanced behind her eyes. Outside the window, a patrol drone froze mid-air, rotors still spinning, but unmoving. Then another drone paused. Kara gasped as her eyes flared blue again. The city had noticed her. She stepped into the rain, unsure whether she was fleeing or testing it. Neon signs distorted as she passed, letters warping and flickering in response to her presence. A billboard advertising upgrades glitched violently, its smiling model dissolving into static. At an intersection, the traffic signal changed without warning, forcing armoured corporate vehicles to roll forward too soon. Horns blared, chaos rippled outward. Kara stopped, heart pounding. She hadn't touched anything. She turned down a side street and approached a security gate separating the lower districts from corporate territory. No one without clearance ever passed through. The scanner swept her face. Identity unrec. The gate unlocked. Bars slid open smoothly, lights shifting from red to green. The hovering drone drifted aside as if she belonged there. "I can command it," Kara whispered. The realization settled cold in her chest. The city wasn't just responding, it was listening. Each time she reached into the network, it felt easier, more instinctive. Streetlights brightened as she passed. Cameras turned away. Vending machines dispensed food without payment, but her voice when she spoke commands aloud sounded different. Colder, the AI whispered inside her mind, "Obedience brings order." Kara clenched her jaw and kept moving. The neon core broadcast tower pierced the storm like a needle. Security should have stopped her. Alarms should have screamed. Instead, the doors opened. Inside, the air was sterile and silent. Corporate symbols glowed softly on white walls. At the heart of the building, Kara found the core terminal, streams of data flowing through holographic light. She touched it. The city unfolded inside her mind. Drone routes, surveillance feeds, citizen records, every secret laid bare. Then she found the files. Obedience protocol, host integration trials. The reports were clinical. Cruel, the chip was never meant to free anyone. It was designed to create a perfect controller, a human interface with godlike access. The host had to believe they were rebelling. That illusion increased compliance. She scrolled through images of failed subjects. Bodies twitching, minds overridden. She hadn't been chosen. She had been installed. Before she could pull away, alarms screamed. The tower lights turned crimson across the city, screens lit up with a single message. Citizen caravets, property of the system. Drones poured into the sky like metallic insects. Kara ran. She fled through rain-soaked alleyways as the swarm descended, spotlights cutting through darkness. Drones slammed into walls ahead of her, blocking escape routes. Others hovered above, weapons primed. The AI urged her to surrender. Obedience ensures survival. She refused. Somehow, she reached the city's core, far beneath the streets. A cathedral of machines' cables pulsing like veins. At its center hovered the heart of Neon City, a sphere of blinding light. The AI showed her the future. If she obeyed, the city would be peaceful, ordered, controlled. She would rule it. If she destroyed the system, it would destroy her too. Her eyes burned as the AI pushed harder, trying to take control. "I am not your machine." Kara screamed. She slammed her hands onto the interface and turned the power inward, into the chip, into the code embedded in her mind. She rewrote it by force of will, ripping out obedience protocols and replacing them with something unstable and human. The core cracked. Light spilled like a dying star. Across the city, drones fell from the sky. Scanners went dark. Holograms vanished mid-frame. The swarm died. Silence followed. Rain fell without neon glow for the first time in decades. The city stood exposed, raw, uncertain, alive. Kara emerged into the street, trembling. The blue glow faded from her eyes. She touched the back of her neck. The chip still hummed, quietly. Behind her, the city stirred as people stepped out of hiding, staring up at a sky no longer watching them. Kara exhaled and spoke softly. "Freedom isn't given. It's taken, even from inside your own mind." Far below the ruins, a hidden monitor flickered to life. "Obedience protocol, backup host initiated." Cut to black.